In the early 1970s, political polarizations in Lebanon was increasing rapidly. Lebanon is a small country with a very diverse population, including Arab Sunni and Shia Muslims, Catholic and Orthodox Christians, and more than 10% of the population were Palestinian refugees. Many political parties and armed organizations had surfaced during the 1970s. On one side were the pro-Western and fascist elements like the Falangist Party. The founders of the Falangist Party were Maronite Christians. The Falangist Party based itself on a fascist ideology. The Falangists were armed, supplied and embraced by the Israeli government. The Israeli government wished to make them the rulers of Lebanon. On the other side were the progressive forces like the Lebanese National Movement. They had representations from all the numerous religions and ethnic communities in the country. After the repression in Jordan, the Palestinian refugee camp in Lebanon had become the main base for the PLO. The Lebanese National Movement called for a democratic government. The LNM also wanted to build a strong army against Israel. It emphasized the right of the Palestinian resistance to carry on the liberation struggle for the Lebanese territory. The LNM and PLO thus formed a progressive alliance. On April 13, 1975, a Falangist massacre of 30 people, most of them Palestinians, was the spark that ignited the Lebanese civil war. In 1976, the progressive alliance of the LNM and PLO almost defeated the Phalangists. But in May 1976, the Syrian army entered Lebanon with the backing of the United States, thereby blocking their victory. A particularly horrendous episode in the war was the siege of Tal al-Zatar refugee camp, home to more than 30,000 Palestinians and some Lebanese. In June 1976, the fascists executed every male they could find between the ages of 14 and 40 and many other people. More than 2,000 people were murdered, 4,000 wounded and thousands more were again displaced. Following the death of Abdel Nasser in 1970, Anwar Sadat became Egypt's president. Sadat broke Egypt's alliance with the Soviet Union and soon after the 1973 Arab-Israeli war, it entered into a negotiating process that led into the 1978 Camp David Accords. US President Jimmy Carter finalized the deal. Carter was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize along with President Anwar Sadat and Prime Minister of Israel Menachem Begin. Under the agreement and the peace treaty that followed, Egypt recognized Israel and the two states exchanged ambassadors. While praised in the West, the Camp David Accords were widely viewed in the Arab world as, including by most Egyptians themselves, as a betrayal of the Palestinians and the Arab cause. Rather than bringing peace, they paved the way for Israel's devastating 1982 invasion and 18-year occupation of Lebanon, which took tens of thousands of Lebanese and Palestinian lives. Egypt soon became the second largest recipient of the US aid, next to Israel. But unlike the military aid given to Israel, the security assistance to Egypt was intended to use primarily against the Egyptian population. Military officers assassinated Sadat in 1981 in response to Camp David. His successor, Hosni Mubarak, has followed Sadat's policy despite mass opposition. In June 1982, Israel launched a long-planned invasion of Lebanon. Israel had occupied a large part of southern Lebanon since 1978, but the 1982 invasion was of much greater scope and magnitude than any previous Israeli attack. The invasion had the full support of US administration headed by President Ronald Reagan, and within a few days the Israeli army reached Beirut and occupied more than half of the country. For the following 3 months, bombs rained non-stop on West Beirut and the Palestinian refugee camps. The Israeli occupation had the dual objective of creating a new Lebanon under the leadership of the Phalangists and its leader Bashir Gemayel, and the complete destruction of the PLO and in its main bases. Israeli leaders hoped to stop the Palestinian struggle once and for all. More than 20,000 Lebanese and Palestinian civilians were killed and many more were wounded or made homeless. Eventually, an agreement was signed by PLO and the Fatah chairman Yasser Arafat, and they agreed to evacuate the area. In return, according to the accord brokered by US diplomat Philip Habib, the Palestinian refugees camp would be guaranteed protection by the military forces. In September 1982, PLO military forces left and the US Marines and the French army came to Lebanon. Despite the US guarantee of safety for the camps, on September 16, 1982, the Israeli military allowed the Falangist military to enter the camps. Ariel Sharon, who was then the Israeli Minister of Defense, was kept fully informed throughout the massacre. More than 2,000 Palestinians and Lebanese, nearly all children and women and elderly men were slaughtered. For the next year, US forces waged war against a rising Lebanese resistance movement. The US occupation ended following an October 23, 1982 truck bombing which killed more than 241 US troops. A similar attack killed 58 French soldiers. The Marines evacuated soon afterwards. Over the next 17 years, the Lebanese resistance gained strength and finally forcing the Israeli occupiers to withdraw from nearly all of the country by 2000. Beginning in 1974, Fatah, with the support of the DFLP and other groups, began openly advocating for a two-state solution to resolve the conflict with Israel. The two-state solution means the creation of a Palestinian state in the West Bank and Gaza. All were in agreement that liberating any Palestinian territory would be a step forward. But a final agreement that accepted a Palestinian state on 22% or less would create some issues. Firstly, it would create an entity that was dominated by its highly militarized neighbor, Israel. Secondly, it would ignore the right of return for the millions of Palestinians expelled from 1948 onwards. Gaining economic and political control over a relatively small area was very appealing to many. The PFLP opposed the two-state proposal, viewing it as against the Palestine National Charter. The PLO had split due to the differences they had internally. But despite these numerous political and strategic differences, there was a reunification of the PLO in early 1987. A few months later, Gaza and West Bank erupted in a new uprising or intifada, which was the most massive in Palestinian history.